Thank you very much. I will read this as fast as possible, so we can start the questions and answer it. Somehow, Gael made an introduction of this. With two significant exceptions, there has been consistent and in many cases a hard-fought efforts to strengthen democracy in our countries. It is an honor to be here with you today to speak about democracy in the Americas. We have a dozen elections in 9 of the 35 of our 35 countries, 6 of which are presidential elections, representing more than half the population of Latin America. As it is clearly stated in our founding charter, the OES and its members recognize that democracy is integral to the stability, security, and development of the hemisphere, and they have an obligation to defend it. This is why we have adopted the motto of more rights for more people, for my term at the OES. There will not be second term. First of all, I don't believe in re-election, but this is a philosophical position, like being vegetarian. It's something that I really can't do, and I wish this could be a more standard practice, especially in Latin America. It is in providing the citizens of our hemisphere more rights and more opportunities that we can achieve shared prosperity. The OES is an institution that cannot sleep. If we forget our purpose, as a result, we lose relevance in the region and in the world. This organization, when I landed there, was chasing down 836 mandates, trying to be all things to all people, and therefore being nothing to anyone, and numerous regional organizations had cropped up trying to fill the void. We were operating in a world where countries have twisted the meaning of regional solidarity. They were claiming non-intervention to justify looking the other way when power-hungry politicians impinged on the rights of their citizens. We have forgotten the fundamental principles that make up our membership requirements. Today, we are somehow paying the price for this silence and our loss of integrity. Thank you for the music. This is a very important issue because for 10, 15 years we pretended that there were not corruption in the continent, and Odebrecht and PDVSA were rampant doing whatever they want all about the continent. We pretended that our democracy didn't have any bad practice, and then we realized that there were a lot of politicians that were not so easy to leave, it was not so easy for them to leave power behind. We saw at the same time populist rising, so there were a lot of bad practices introduced during those years, and we were pretending that that was fine. And then suddenly, those bad practices started becoming a problem in Venezuela, a problem in some other countries in the region, and we have to start fighting back and trying to reverse these conditions. Venezuela did not become a dictatorship overnight. It happened over many years, with one democratically elected government so desperate to cling to power that it dismantled its democratic institutions one by one. Today, access to basic necessity of life is controlled by political affiliation, and questioning those in power means risking your life. The international community needs the opportunity to encourage Venezuela down another path. There was a moment to stand up with a unified voice and in the name of regional solidarity demand that Venezuela meet the obligations they choose for themselves under Inter-American Democratic Charter. When I first spoke up against the unsettling actions taken by the government of Venezuela, it was like the world was shocked. The world had grown accustomed to indifference and frequently chose to passively look the other way. Member states, not understanding the consequences, were afraid to speak up. I was criticized for my stance for drawing attention to these concerted actions to dismantle democracy in Venezuela. My actions were described as inappropriate and overstepping the authority of this office, none of which was true. As Secretary General, it is my responsibility to be a guy standing there for the rights and principles that this organization stands for. I must be a voice of those without a voice, and those most discriminated against, a voice of those who suffer inequality, who suffer from the lack of protection of their rights, and I must be the staunchest defender of those rights. A high price has been paid to learn the cost of silence and inaction, the reluctance to raise their voices and hold the Maduro regime so count has allowed Venezuela to deteriorate into the corrupt, authoritarian, failed state we see today. More than 12,000 citizens have been detained in Venezuela since 2014. More than 150 have been killed in protest since Maduro came to power, including at least 111 murdered by security forces or paramilitary forces allied with them. Perhaps the most chilling statistic is that since 2012, there have been more than 6,300 extrajudicial killings at the hands of government agents according to NGO figures, with most occurring under the government's ironically named Operation Freedom and Protection, an operation really intended to terrorize the population. Pure corruption and mismanagement have led to one of the greatest self-made humanitarian crises this hemisphere has seen. There is a severe shortage of food. Millions of people only find enough for one meal a day. 5 to 6 children die of malnutrition every day. These consequences are not only felt in Venezuela, they will be and are already felt beyond its borders. One of the largest countries in the hemisphere has become a narco-state, exacerbating the proliferation of arms and organized crime in a region that already struggles with the rule of law. The rate of migrants fleeing the country has stopped those living in war-torn Syria, intensifying under undue pressure already experienced by its enemies. New global actors, including those with terrorist ties, are building a foothold in our hemisphere. These threats have been allowed to fester and grow in the so-called spirit of non-interference. Since that first controversial discussion on Venezuela, the world has come together. We have seen consistent efforts to support dialogue. The U.S. Permanent Council recognized the declaration of democratic and constitutional order in a resolution of the 3rd of April. A number of member states have begun imposing vital sanctions against the regime. We are all working in order to improve the political situation, the humanitarian situation, the tragedy that the country is the greatest tragedy today. We are not longer talking about democratic elections or the independence of the judiciary. Today, we are talking about how to bring an end to the dictatorship. That must be the objective. That must be the aim. We cannot allow this to happen again. We are facing the unacceptable possibility of another long-term dictatorship in the region. Bad practices and corruption are contagious. If these problems are not addressed, they create a dangerous precedent for the hemisphere. This is a challenge that we have at the Organization of American States, to reinvigorate our commitment to the fundamental values and principles that we hold so dear, our commitment to democracy and human rights, reaffirming the core values of the organization. Thank you very much.